When you compare how Australia is going with the rest of the world, we are falling so far behind, it's not funny. This is indeed a race. That's what I want to see out of National Cabinet.
We need more vaccines, and I expect all the premiers are the same.
I can't control the doses of vaccine we get. I think we need to be far more ambitious in how quickly we vaccinate our population.
With the new age restrictions in place, it's becoming clear the AstraZeneca vaccine won't get us out of this pandemic. It's now all about Pfizer and how many doses we can get our hands on. The problem is the bulk of our Pfizer supply won't arrive till towards the end of the year. And now we have the highly contagious Delta strain to deal with.
If we delay the number of people getting vaccinated into next year, particularly for a proportion of the people aren't vaccinated at all, then that does leave us vulnerable.
The best way to understand how the rollout is going is to look at the numbers. And you'd think we have that data at our fingertips, but we don't.
It's just not very transparent or comprehensive. I think it'd be really good to see things like first and second doses so we know how many people have been fully vaccinated.
Anthony McCauley is a data analyst who, off his own bat, has been monitoring the COVID pandemic in Australia. His data are considered so reliable that international groups use his figures.
I think the first vaccinations were late February. At that point, the only way to get vaccination data was by visiting every state health department individually and collating it. Eventually, the Federal Health Department released a PDF document, but that's very difficult to work with and from a data perspective.
Anthony gets his data using detective work looking beyond the official numbers. It doesn't need to be this hard, though.
You just look across the border to New Zealand. They have great data, daily statistics of first and second doses with breakdowns. I would really like to see the data broken down by age, and we can actually track it over time and see if all the announcements that are coming out from the Commonwealth are having an impact on the rollout.
There's a growing debate about whether the focus should be much more on first dose numbers, even if it means that second doses are given a little later than currently recommended. Canada is a good example of an aggressive first dose strategy. By focusing on getting a first dose into as many people as quickly as possible, they're now leading the world.
Their modelling suggests that that's the way to go, to focus on getting those first doses out. And certainly if you're looking at hospitalisation, that first dose protection is still substantial.
Just over 4% of Australians over the age of 16 are now fully vaccinated. Around 28% of people have had one dose. It's still unclear what proportion of these people are frontline workers, elderly or vulnerable Australians.
Part of the problem is the logistics in getting it out and getting people back in for their second dose and trying to hold over doses to make sure that you've got them available for those second jabs. And I think if you removed that, at least for the younger adults, and focused on at least getting the first doses done, then you might in fact get more vaccines out to the community faster.
But to do that, we need better and more transparent data by age, vaccine and location. Today, the Federal Vaccine Rollout Chief, Lieutenant General John Fruin, acknowledged the need for greater transparency.
I intend to start providing that information, but just bear with me for a while until we have got it, and then I'll start providing it to you.
Meantime, AstraZeneca is still an important part of our vaccine strategy.
If you've had a first AstraZeneca vaccine at any age, don't cancel your second vaccine. The risk of this very rare side effect is extremely rare, 1.5 per million in a second dose.
But that still leaves questions about a first dose strategy and whether there should be new vaccine targets.
Rather than set targets that can get knocked about by every to and fro of international supply chains and other disruptions that can occur, we're just getting on with it.
I think you have to lead with targets. I think if you just say, we'll wait until we have enough people vaccinated to do these things, then you could be waiting for a very long time.
People want to get vaccinated. The higher the proportion of your population that is vaccinated, the better options there are for public health advice in terms of how we get through this pandemic.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.